Speaking of Zelda, okay. I feel like we've talked about this a little bit, but I don't remember where you fully stand on it. Because all my other friends crap on me for this. I did not like Tears of the Kingdom that much.
Did you like Breath of the Wild?
I love Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
I got Breath of the Wild, dude, I was probably in, maybe like, it was the end of high school when Breath of the Wild was coming out. And I bought the Wii U, like, primarily because I was like, oh, there's going to be a new Metroid, there's going to be a new Zelda. Let me go ahead and buy the Wii U, just so I can make sure I can play those. The Metroid never came out.
It never came
Still,
out.
to this day, has never came out.
We got a trailer.
Yeah, we finally got a trailer for Metroid Prime 4. Dude, I'm really excited about that. Just like as a side pivot, I'm so excited about that. I love Metroid, but I feel like there's just not enough entries.
Yeah.
Like some games you play and you're like, man, this is amazing. I don't need more though. Metroid, I need more of. Like I need more of.
Back to Tears of the Kingdom.
But yeah, no, dude, when Breath of the Wild finally got announced, bro, I literally, like, leading up to it, would watch the trailer every single day. Like, once a day. Like, it would just give me chill bumps every time. I got it on release. I got it for the Wii U. I didn't get it for the Switch just because I already had the Wii U. Dude, I no-lifed it. Like, I locked in, like, just, like, 20 hours a day, would just play it, go to sleep, wake up, just 20 hours a day, play it again. I think after, like, a week or two, because we could back then. I feel like after like a week or two, I had like over 100 hours in the game. I almost 100%ed it. Well, no, okay, not the Korok Seed stuff, but I got close to having like every shrine. Yeah, no, I loved Breath of the Wild because it was like such a new experience.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. I want to go back and try to play Breath of the Wild and see if I like it still. Because I feel like, and I've heard from a lot of people that it's not that replayable of a game, because a lot of like what's amazing about it is that first experience with everything,
with the exploration.
Yeah, of like the unknowing almost, which is why when Tears of the Kingdom came out, again, I was super hyped for, super excited for, just like for any Zelda. It just felt like I was retreading the exact same game,
because it was, for the most part, the overworld was the same.
Yeah, I mean, it was like identical.
My opinion is I did love Breath of the Wild. I had a lot of fun with it. I bought it for the Wii U as well, or my dad bought it for the Wii U as well. And it was good. I enjoyed it. And when Tears of the Kingdom was announced and the trailer came out, I think it was the second trailer that I really was like, oh my
for
gosh.
Breath of the Wild?
For Tears of the Kingdom.
For Tears of the Kingdom, okay.
Like, this looks amazing.
Because which trailer? So I remember they had the...
It's the one where Ganondorf is prominently shown. Like Samurai Ganondorf almost. Like, that looks epic.
Yeah.
And my impression of it, that it was going to be very, very story driven, because again, that's why I loved Twilight Princess. It very story driven. You know, the part where, you know, Midna took, I think, what did Midna give her power away and she got weak to help Zelda, or did she take damage from something? I forget. She took damage from the Light Beast at the end of
but I think it was to, like, to protect Zelda or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Which is amazing because like it's so dynamic, because like you go through the game as Midna and she just has like this attitude the entire time.
Yeah.
And she just acts like she really doesn't like Link. I think it was to protect Link actually.
Yeah.
I think she jumped in front of like Link or something.
That's
like
right.
That.
That's what happened.
It was something like that. I can't remember, but yeah, it like that was like the pivotal moment where you kind of like realized like
her feelings kind of shifted. She grew as a character.
Yeah, she grew as a character, but it was also like she just had that as like a mask, you know. She like really cared the whole time. It gave a lot of like introspection, I feel like, to the character.
But I didn't get a lot of that from Tears of the Kingdom, and that was the kind of point that I wasn't a fan of, because I like very story driven moments. Again, I keep referencing Twilight Princess, but it's because it has all those moments when you're, you know, finally going to Hyrule Castle about to fight Ganondorf, and the people from the town, from the Resistance, they come and they blow up the bokoblins on the bridge. Dude, I was like, this is epic. And, you know, like, freaking 13-year-old me was like, dude, this is awesome. And I just wish there was more of that in both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we got flashbacks, and that was great. I loved the story aspects we were given in that, but I don't think there was enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Breath of the Wild had things it was missing that we all could, like, acknowledge. And I honestly, like, I feel like because part of it is sometimes when stuff takes so long to come out, you build up this like insane expectation that sometimes can never be met.
Yeah.
I feel like people really didn't have that high of expectations for Tears of the Kingdom. We expected it to be an amazing game, but I'm saying as far as like this like because we all knew it was going to be like a sequel to Breath of the Wild, like graphically, like stylistically, it was going to be very similar to Breath of the Wild. So I don't think we expected like that much re-innovation. We basically, I feel like most people were just like, hey, these are the things we didn't like about Breath of the Wild. We don't like the dungeons. We want traditional Zelda dungeons that feel very immersive. You can really get lost in them. Your classic like Forest Temple, Fire Temple,
Yeah.
I mean, dude, that no-brainer to have that. Shrines, I feel like people were kind of a little iffy about. Still,
Some people
a little
liked
iffy
them, some
about.
people didn't.
I've never minded the shrines. I liked them a good bit. I just don't think they should have been a replacement for traditional dungeons. So seeing just a better blend of that. Like more kind of like story elements.
Yeah.
I think people just wanted like quality of life improvements to what Breath of the Wild already did so well.
Yeah.
And I feel like we didn't get any of that. I feel like none of that was met in Tears of the Kingdom.
And I feel like I'm not going to call it a spiritual successor, but in a way, again, I know you haven't played Echoes of Wisdom. I feel like it executed all of that in a better way because it's very similar in the way that it approaches dungeons and stuff. You don't unlock like a hook shot or this or that like you would in a traditional Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
But just the way the ecosystem works and the way you can interact with the dungeons, it somehow feels more unique than that of Tears of the Kingdom with the abilities you were given at the very beginning of the game.
And that's the key word, I think, is unique. Every Zelda game, to me, feels unique, even when you talk about like not Minish Cap,
Echoes of Wisdom?
Majora's Mask. Like Majora's Mask, I think is a good equivalent to Tears of the Kingdom because Majora's Mask came out 11 months after Ocarina of Time. It used the exact same engine. They basically were just like, hey, Ocarina of Time was a massive hit, make another one.
I think it was supposed to be like an expansion of Ocarina of Time too. Like, I think that's what I heard.
Probably, yeah. I could imagine that. Yeah, because I think Ocarina of Time was supposed to have like 64 disk drive expansions, and then the disk drive never came out in America, so they kind of just like abandoned that. But
made a whole new game
Majora's
instead.
Mask like is literally just like reuses pretty much all the assets from Ocarina of Time, but it feels like such a new game.
It's
it
very
has so
different.
much personality. It's so unique. It is like probably the most unique Zelda game, and so like I feel like they could have went two ways: just improve the stuff that we didn't like on Breath of the Wild, or make something really unique, or a combination of both. Have something really unique.
Well, the mask system was very unique.
The what?
The mask system.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Majora's Mask is super unique. I feel like Tears of the Kingdom doesn't have anything that unique. I feel like the depths is kind of like
it's very barren.
Yeah, it's very barren. I feel like it doesn't have that much personality. It was to a point where like I would spend like an hour in the depths to like progress through like this spiral thing to like get this chest at the end. And it was an item that like I never would use. Yeah. It just sucked. I mean, it was pointless. It was almost like there's no real reason to go down here.
And all the Zonai ruins looked very similar to each other.
Yeah, I feel like most of the sky stuff, there wasn't anything like you would just find this like little rock kind of that had a few little paths. Like there was never something you would find and just like get lost in, you know. Which honestly I feel like kind of Breath of the Wild even had a lot of stuff like that. Like you would just kind of side pivot and just find something and spend like 2 hours just going through it. My biggest thing was, so like when I got Breath of the Wild, the first, which I don't know how, I think the game tries to a little bit kind of subconsciously guide you a certain way, at least for the beginning. But for the most part it really doesn't, because I had friends that like went to Gerudo Valley first, the Rito people first. I did Zora's Domain first.
That's where I went first.
Yeah, so that was the first after like Hateno or Kakariko, whichever one it was, straight to Zora's Domain. And that was like one of the things I remember about loving the Breath of the Wild is that journey up to like Zora's Domain. That was like really intense.
Because you hit the bridge first where you meet Prince Sidon and...
Yeah, well, even on the way like to Zora's Domain, there's like this winding like trail you kind of have to like go around with like all these enemies and stuff. It reminded me of Skyrim, that part in Skyrim where like there's that like winding like staircase. I can't remember.
Going up to High Hrothgar.
Yeah,
where
yeah,
there's the
yeah,
frost
yeah.
troll and all that.
Yes, yes, yeah, with the frost troll. Yes, yeah, yeah. I remember that as a kid, and I remember the Breath of the Wild part. They're going to Zora's Domain. It was really epic. I got Tears of the Kingdom. Got through the beginning stuff. I was like, okay, first place I'll just go is Zora's Domain again. I launched in the sky,
You
flew
there.
straight there in like 2 minutes, and that was it. I went to the dungeon, did the little side quest thing, did it. The dungeon kind of sucked too. Um, I guess the building thing would be the unique thing, the merging or the fusion.
But I just don't think it was.
I just didn't like it, bro. Like it was cool for like the first few hours, especially when you're in that whatever the Great Plateau equivalent is in the game. Where you have to like make the log and put the fan on it to like kind of blow you across the
Talk
water.
about that place in the sky. Yeah. I know what
Yeah,
you're talking about.
yeah. I think like it showed it off really well. I just don't think there were that many like unique uses for it other than just building like this like
Basically transporting
this
yourself.
motorcycle thing to just like zoom across everywhere. Yeah, honestly, my biggest gripe is just like getting launched into the air and just flying wherever you want to go. It really took the exploration out because it basically just turned it into I need to go here on the map. Let me just launch to the closest like sky pillar, launch, and then just fly there. So I would just sit there for like 5 minutes, just slowly gliding.